Oh yes, do I ever remember having one of these way back when they were brand new. This particular unit is not the one that I had. The one that I had was actually I think they called it Sky Blue. Personally, I think it looked much better than this bog standard white did, but beggars can't be choosers, and this was what was available on eBay. Seems that these are not as easy to find on eBay as they once were. I guess the population of them has dried up because people just don't care about them anymore. Or they're all hanging on to them because, well, it's one of the first ever netbooks, if not the first ever netbook. This one is the lowest end model of them all, the EPC 2G Surf, featuring 2 gigabytes of onboard storage. I think it's got 512 megabytes of RAM, but you can't upgrade it. And it's an 800 megahertz Celeron processor. Before the Atom chip existed, of course. It's basically almost as full-featured as a little computer would get. It's got an SD card slot there, which you can use to expand the storage. I think you can even boot from it. I've never been able to get that to work, though. USB. There's a VGA output and the Kensington lock. On the back, that's just the power jack. And on this side, if so equipped, it could have a modem, but this one doesn't have that. It's got Ethernet, USB again, and the headphone and microphone, as well as a cooling vent. I believe this thing's got a cooling fan. I don't really hear it ever, so it doesn't really get all that hot. Apparently we're not going to focus, are we? Alright, that's better. Let's go ahead and open it up, which is no easy feat with one hand. It's easier with this than it is with a lot of laptops. And there we can see it. I think V Westlife said that this black border is what the size of the screen should have been. I'm not aware of any of these that were offered with a larger size screen than this. Of course, up here would be a webcam if this one was equipped with that, and this one's not. 2 speakers are on the side there. There's your very small keyboard, difficult to use for somebody like me, but back when I had one of these I had smaller hands, so it was easier to use then than it is now. Of course, it wasn't really easy to use then because I was used to full-size keyboards. A rather nuisancey trackpad here. I don't really like this one at all, and these buttons are not very good either. Until inside, got an Asus logo. I wonder if that number is actually still active. It probably is, because Asus is still a relatively ongoing concern anyways. There's our 4 indicator lights on the front of the machine. And let's go ahead and fire it up. It's running the factory Linux build, which a lot of people have questioned my keeping on here. But I want it for nostalgia purposes, if for nothing else. Anything I could ever do with this thing wouldn't need anything else anyways. And we can see the start splash. And there we have it. Not really much that I can demonstrate with this. There are no updates available for it. In fact, every single thing about this system has basically vanished into the ether. There's nothing left. Can take a look at the system information, though. I think there is an updated version of software that will run on this, but I haven't been able to get it to load on here. Yep, 512 megabytes of RAM, Intel mobile processor. It's a Celeron 800, I believe, though. The disk utility. As you can see, the system uses up a lot of that 2 gigabytes of space. I call it an extra drive, but it's not mounted, so there's nothing in there anyways. You can have it in a couple of different colors. You can have it in Sunset, which is a golden color. I think you can have it in silver, which is the default, just white. You can have it in green, a rather putrid green color. Yeah, it's not really a good green color, but I noticed that it doesn't actually change the window title bars. It's a lot like Windows XP. Yeah, see, I don't like this trackpad at all. Of course, I got it set on blue. That's what mine was at. And that's the color that I think looks the best on here anyways. But, of course, that's just my opinion. It's got some favorites. We can go to asus.com and see what that does. Bring up a very ancient browser. Firefox 2.0. This actually does still exist. I'm not sure what it would look like in this browser anymore, though. Probably not the same as it would have when this was new. Yeah, it doesn't really work that well. Doesn't really understand a lot of what's going on here. Wow, that's bad. Random laptops in the middle of a page of links. I don't think that really works that well. It's usable, but not really easily. Of course, we got customize, so we can add stuff to the favorites tab. It does have an antivirus, Xandros Antivirus. Of course, you can't get definitions for it, so that's pretty much useless. And remove software does nothing. Just basically brings up a window. This is like, I think this is like Skype 2.0 or something like that, so it doesn't work anymore. Internet radio does work, but you have to do some fidgeting around with it, because the link that it actually links to is no longer valid, but the site still exists. So, and you can actually still listen to internet radio. So that's pretty cool. I'd imagine if this thing had a newer browser on it, it would actually do YouTube. It used to be able to do YouTube pretty well back when I had mine, but obviously time moves on and this thing was left in the dust. So the only way that I'd really be able to get a modern browser on this, because I've tried putting a newer version of Firefox on that, and if you try to load a newer version of Firefox on this, the only thing that you get out of it is a system crash. It will no longer load the GUI, and I have no idea why that is. So I had to restore it from factory, or to factory defaults, so that was kind of annoying. But, like I said, anything that I'd ever want to do with this, I can do with just what it's got, so. I mean, it's got everything that I would really need anyways. So, alright, that's pretty much it for this video. Not really much I need to talk about. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then. Computer is completely silent. You don't even know when it's on or off.